Hey, it's syndicated radio talk show host, author, singer Al Cole, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. I come from CBS Radio. My shows are nationally syndicated, and I've helped pave the way to treating women, guys too, with the dignity that they deserve. And I do that through my show, People of Distinction, aired on really dignified networks, including the biggest airing CBS shows, and that's Apple's iTunes Radio Network. Under their professional news talk division, airing CBS shows, Fox News, NPR, BBC, C-SPAN as well. Best talk in the country around the world on Apple's iTunes Radio Network under News Talk. And I want you to visit my website, peopleofdistinction.org. A lot to see there, a lot to hear too. My Apple streams and see the alliances that I have with people like Ariana Huffington, the founder of the Huffington Post, and also my media consulting that I do. I've helped hundreds of people to be entrepreneurial with their books and sorts of services that they might have and make a living at that. And you'll like that too. You can email me at alcoholic@gmail.com. You heard me right. ALCOLEHOLIC@gmail.com. And I really want to thank my CBS radio listeners for coming up with that handle, Alcoholic. Seems like from day one, my listeners have been saying, Al, we love what you're doing there, brother. In fact, we're hooked on it. We're alcoholics. And coming from CBS Radio, I'm also a New York Times best-selling author with Chicken Soup for the Soul. Chicken Soup for the Soul is distributed by CBS's Simon & Schuster. So keep it in the family that way. Coming up, all right, this guy is going to be talking about our human family by way of his journey to America. Yeah, in fact, that's the name of his book, My Journey to America. And the my happens to be a gentleman named A.J. Rasih. Now, this guy's really something. He's cosmopolitan right off the bat. He was born in Laos, Southeast Asia. His parents were Vietnamese. We know about the Vietnam War, the devastation it caused. And Asians are at the vanguard these days of a lot of the political and economic growth of this country and of this world and the directions that this world is taking. And also a lot of the directions that the United States is taking as well. America. Asians are, they're really something. I've always been inspired by Eastern thought, Hinduism, Buddhism, even Lao Tzu, all of that started in Asia. And we know that Asians coming to America have really, really helped America to grow. They're very well-educated people usually, and they're people who are very proactive. They have discipline. Yeah, you like that word, people? Discipline. And positive discipline. It's not something that's overbearing. It's a state of mind that is encouraging people to think, yes, and to feel positively about life. Now get this. His book called My Journey to America has to do with his accomplishing his American dream. As we all want to. America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. All right, so we accomplish that in any way that we can. Now, he's accomplished that by helping about 2,000 people to become U.S. citizens. And they don't have to be all Asians. It could be people from all walks of life, all different nationalities. That's a lot of people. 2,000 people to become U.S. citizens and then, in their way, accomplish the American dream. So it goes on and on and on. This guy is an international force. And his name, Rasih, is actually Indian. So he's very cosmopolitan. And he likes to give hope to younger people, too. And that's where my son comes in. My son is named Benji Cole. And he's a dynamic force in many, many ways. He's an actor. He's been on stage with Tom Hanks and many others. And he has his own film company, too. And he's going to be taking the interview here. He's my son and also the co-host. And he'll be asking the questions, making some reflections and everything. And we love that. So I'm introducing Benji as well as one of the young people who has a lot to say for our future. And AJ has a lot to say, too, about our future and helping young people with their directions, as well as people becoming U.S. citizens. And you can order his book, My Journey to America, at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And I'd like to really compliment the publishing company that brought him to people of distinction. And that's UR-Link. UR-Link Publishing. They're one of the best in the publishing world. And if you got a book you got to move, well, you got to move it through UR-Link. urlinkpublishing.com. Welcome, AJ. Welcome, Benji, to People of Distinction with Al Cole. And how you both doing today?
We're doing fine. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity and have a chance to be interviewed by you, Mr. Cole, and also Benji.
Yes. And how are you doing, Benji?
Absolutely. Likewise, the feeling is definitely mutual, Al. Again, as always, thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. Truly appreciate it. And, you know, it's always an honor to be here on the show. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's just jump right in. We have AJ Rasih, of course, as Al stated before, on the line. We're going to be talking about my journey to America. Just speaking from a personal standpoint, I mean, this is definitely a topic that means a lot to me, just being of a millennial generation or a millennial in, you know, this current generation growing up. We know that this is a subject matter that means a lot to us. With the current administration and with the current immigration, situations that we have going on in the current in the current volumes of the country, we know that this is definitely something that means a lot to us. So let's just jump right in, AJ. We definitely want to hear your side of the story, and we want to learn a little bit more about my journey to America. So right off the bat, let's just start. If there was one particular thing that you really want to make sure that our audience is able to pull and derive from this interview, what's one thing they have to know about my journey to America?
I just gave you a briefing. My journey to America is my personal tale of one-man expedition to reaching American dream. It commenced from my humble beginning in Southeast Asia, we call Laos, where my Vietnamese parents were left with no choice but to flee their home country, which was being occupied by the communist regime. And I'm going to tell you that how I earned my education and was able to attend college in Thailand, and to how I was able to learn 5 languages through my life experience by accident. To finally my trip to America, or journey to America, where I started my own business that has added over 2,400 people become naturalized U.S. citizens, so that they can realize and achieve their American dream. My journey to America proved that with the correct mindset and determination, any dream can be accomplished. So I think that after you have a chance to read the books and can inspiring the new immigrants and people around the world to discover what kind of the great they want to be, just like me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again, AJ. I think what's fascinating most is, you know, we've all heard that the expression American dream, right? And a lot of times the interpretation equates to financial success, right? Or something along those lines. And what I find fascinating and really admirable about your story is it has nothing to do with the financial success that you've acquired, right? It's all about how, as you said, you've helped about 2,400 people achieve their citizenship. Which is an amazing feat in itself. So thank you and congratulations for such for such a journey that you've helped so many people embark upon. Now, you stated that you were born in Laos, Vietnamese parents. And how old were you when you came to this country?
I came here on April 9, 1976, which is about 44 years ago. And I was the youngest of 4 children to my Vietnamese immigrant parents. And I received my undergraduate degree in irrigation engineer in Nonthabury College of Engineering in Thailand in 1975.
So you were roughly in your 20s when you came. So you were definitely established, a young adult by the time that you came here. So it wasn't like you came in at a very early age and grew up here. You were already established that way, which I'm sure had its own feats that you had to kind of adjust to that way. And another part of your story that, you know, when we were talking prior was really fascinating to me is you learned five languages. You said through experience.
Yeah, maybe I just added on again that it's by accident. I was born in Vietnamese immigrant, and I was born in Laos, so I can speak two languages. I attend elementary school and secondary school in French languages, and I work for U.S. government. We call United States Aid to the Development for 3 years. And I speak English. So combine those, and then I got my engineering degree in Thailand, irrigation. So I speak the 5 languages in Thailand. So this is it's a blessing. I can tell you, this is coincidence actually.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean it's hard enough to gain just for us Americans sometimes to learn the English language, right? Not to
yes.
not to bash anybody that way, but to learn 5 languages through the experience that way again is just, it lends credence to your intelligence and dedication that way. So
thank you for your kind words.
Of course, absolutely. And then talk to us about the organization that you are a CEO of and president of, Global Children of the World. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. But 25 years ago, this is 1990, we founded the Global Child, stand for Children of the World, to provide immigration and also translation services. More than 2,400 people who passed their naturalization process. And so this program that I have experience with is 35 years experience in citizenship, naturalization, community and public relation, education, and human relation. Well, actually, in interpretation and translation. By profession, I was 25 years experience as a court interpreter for 3, 4, 5 different languages for San Diego Superior Court, State of California. And besides that, I was first Asian, Indo-Chinese Asian, been appointed by City of San Diego community as a city commissioner of human relations. And I'm so fortunate that I'm a civic engagement advocate and a language and cultural expert by accident.
Can you explain a little bit more on that? You mean by accident? How did you come across that?
Okay, like a cultural expert. While I'm working as interpreter and translator in court. Mm-hmm. One of defense attorney asked me to do the job as an interpreter for the murder case. Well, I said, okay, I can do that. But when it came to the jury trial, they want me to put me on the witness stand as a cultural expert. I said, wait, this is conflict of interest here. I'm a court interpreter by profession. They said, when we have subpoena you to be a witness as a cultural expert, we pay you handsomely. So this by law, I have to serve as a cultural expert by accident. So I go ahead and do that. Since then, I was hired as a cultural expert in Vietnamese, Lao, Thai. So this is by accident, which is I did not intended to do.
That's amazing. Jack of all trades there, AJ. Yeah, you wear many hats.
Many hats.
That's amazing.
They call man of many seasons.
Exactly. That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. And in your overall experience, I know, again, speaking from personal relationships and personal experiences, because I have so many friends that are, we categorize them now, or I guess the popular phrase is the dreamers, right? The DACA group, children that come from immigrant households, were born here, but there's a big, with this current administration, there's a big discrepancy there. What would you say, in your experience, in helping so many people achieve their citizenship? What are some of the challenges that our younger generations are going to continue to face in ways that they can accomplish these feats in terms of on the road of getting their citizenship? What are some of the challenges that we are going to come across in your experience?
Experience is that the dreamer is different than the refugees or legal immigrant in the sense of this current administration haven't passed the law and try to accept them as give them a green pass, make sure they're going to be a proactive citizen, which is I disagree with that because the dreamer, that's what they call about. They are very, they speak good English. They are in school and they are in higher education, and they speak English fluently, and they make a lot of contribution to this country. So I call home because this is America all about. So I hopefully not only the Congress will move forward to give them, they call to pass the law and give them to become a American citizen.
Then let's branch away from the dreamers then. So your experience is more so with people that we're not born in this country, don't have that kind of same issues that the dreamers are coming across. So if someone right coming into this country, what are some challenges that they would face? Say myself, I'm a 32-year-old. I've just come, flew in from another country. I'm looking to get my citizenship. What are some just natural challenges that I'm to face? And in your opinion, in your suggestions, what do you think would be the best way to kind of go about that?
Okay, I have quite a few people from China and from Somalia and also in Africa. And they come here, but they speak good English, but they don't know how the process works. So I walk them through, support them, and provide necessary tips and techniques, because we have a class going on helping the people to promote immigration citizenship through education and citizenship test preparation program for new immigrants. So that is our curriculum. And between 4 to 6 months, they will become an American citizen. So that's what my job is do, and motivate them, our current generation, in taking the first step to accomplish this goal, and therefore setting an example for how, through being motivated and persevering, it can be accomplished.
Absolutely. And how would one go about finding the information to attain that? Global Child Children of the World, or is that a different foundation? Yeah,
well, this is locally and nationally, because 2,400 people become U.S. citizens. Then the USCIS, U.S. Immigration and Services, they do have all connection, and we work with the voluntary agency and the community organization, and we post it on yellow pages. And when you click on Global Child or Immigration Services, and very unique because the Global Child also stands for Rasih Institute. My name is in there. So the whole thing, we do it. We promote immigration citizenship through education. But most of all, we advertise in local newspaper and also word of mouth. So we are good at it, and we established a program. We have been offering civic education, individual tutoring, interpretation services, who happen to be 50 years old and be here more than 20 years. They can take their own languages when they take an exam. And so the County of San Diego and City of San Diego, they do have access to my services. And we primarily service with Africa, Burma, Cambodia, Laos, Mexico, and Vietnam. Our program also provides a great number for low-income and elderly residents.
Great. AJ, thank you so much. Again, you've absolutely been a wealth of knowledge. And again, your book, My Journey to America, is going to talk about your specific experiences that way and the feats that you've had to overcome, which again, we can all relate to. I mean, here in America, this is the melting pot for a reason, right? So your specific experience, of course, is just speaking from your individual stance, but it's definitely something that, in my opinion, is worldwide and definitely relatable in that way. So thank you very much for spending time. Now, I know we're going to be wrapping up soon, but you do have a couple of other books that you also wanted to tell us a little bit about. What are some other books that you'd like to plug that you've also written, AJ?
Okay. 4 years ago, we have the book we call American New Triumph 21st Century Encyclopedia of Verses of Social Thought. This is the first book, the volume 1. It's a new book of comfort and knowledge designed to enrich everyone's life. And second book is coming out is the Hope, Promise, and Better Future for Mankind. So the volume 1 and volume 2, which is the first and also the last book of the Encyclopedia of Verses of Social Thought. And I would like to spread the hope throughout, not only for people, but we try to inspiring people around the world to discover what kind of great they want to be. And so we try to helping people to spread the same hope. Hopefully that America means a lot to me. I came to this country in search of personal and family and opportunity for freedom. And so I would like to, when I will inspire success by doing the great thing for myself, once I get here, I do give back. That is all about. So Encyclopedia of Verses of Social Thought, the first and the last book. This is more than 1,000 verses. In that way, we can change everything, and everything can change America and the world.
Fantastic, AJ. And just to confirm, I know My Journey to America is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Are your other two books available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble as well?
And by April, we the Promise and Hope and Promise and Better Future of Mankind will be out by April of 2020.
AJ, again, thank you very much for being on People of Distinction here with Al Cole and Benji Cole. We truly appreciate your time. It's been a fantastic interview. Before we let you go, any last things that you would like to make sure our viewers know about any of the three books that you've written, or anything else that you'd like to just put out there before we conclude?
All I say is the book that it's dedicated to American New Triumph, the genius of American spirit. So I would like to make his light shine upon us all. So this book of all human knowledge is dedicated to preservation and enjoyment of triumph of American New Triumph. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you and also to the world. And thank you, Mr. Cole and Benji. It's a pleasure. This is from my bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. That that every day, every week, I travel 100, 1,000 of miles, bearing a message of hope. And my target is refugees, legal immigrants who have given up hope of becoming U.S. citizens. I show them the way. Thank you.
Wow. I'll tell you, we're thanking you, AJ, for the great work that you're doing to help people all around the world acclimate to the American way of life and the American dream that we should all be privy to. And this goes out to my listeners right now, just to cap off the show. Another great interview by my son, Benji Cole. And what a wonderful, wonderful interview by A.J. Rasih, who is talking about all of the great things that he's accomplished. People, when we talk about America, when we talk about the American dream, we're talking not only about you, people in the United States, whether naturalized or born here. We're talking about the entire world. We know that for many, many years, since World War II at the very least, America has been known as the inspirer of the world in many ways, of course, economically. And also with liberty, life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. But life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness don't mean nothing if it's just the pursuit of happiness. It also should be the guarantee of happiness. Now, that's one of the things that AJ is working on, and we at People of Distinction. That's why we have people from all walks of professional life on, and people who are talking intergenerationally, and ultimately positive talk about how we can bring our human family together more and more and more. See, that is the guarantee of happiness, because every single human being on this planet deserves it. And America, the melting pot, well, if we're a melting pot, that means that the United States has to pretty much be a reflection of what's out there in the world, not an isolated country. No. And what's out there in the world, most people in the world are, put it this way, people of color. They're Asians, they're Africans, they're Central, South Americans. They are people who have maybe a different sort of cultural bent that was originated in the United States, originally with the United States. But when they come to this country, they add to the diversity of the United States. Diversity and inclusion. We need them both. We need to respect other people's ways of thinking, other people's attitudes towards life, and the great feelings that they can bring into life, and integrate them with our own. Now, that's inclusion, people. That's exactly what AJ is talking about in his great work, and we applaud that, and particularly his book, My Journey to America. You got to order that. So one more time, Amazon and Barnes & Noble, you can order that wonderful book at. And I will give kudos again to the publishing company that brought AJ to our show, and that's UR-Link Publishing. If you got a book you got to move, well, they're your movers. UR-Link-Publishing.com. Thank you so much, AJ, for the inspiring and very informative interview. And thank you, Benji, for another great interview. It's, People of Distinction with Benji Cole. This guy is a winner. He's a great interviewer, and you're going to hear more and more of People of Distinction with my son, Benji Cole, taking the helm, and Al Cole from CBS Radio behind the scenes, because Benji is all that we need. Benji is so cool. Thank you, Benji, for being another great host here on People of Distinction, another great show. Thank you both. And AJ, we wish you all the best with your book and your life directions. Yes. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cole, for 2 generations that I have associated with right today. This is my very humble experience. And thank you, UR-Link Publishing, and for giving me opportunity to have a voice for my age, our age, and also millennial, and also baby boomer like me, presiding over a unique sense of beauty, devoted to harmony and understanding and appreciation of American experience and American dream. Thank you.
Thank you. So, how did you like the interview that Benji provided, AJ?
Wonderful, wonderful experience.